Make your weight loss goal big and bold. Go for it. I'm Amanda Rose, the founder of the weight loss community Eat Like a Bear. I am 140 pounds down. I'm at my lowest weight as an adult, and it blows my mind that I have people following along my path who are ending up at their lowest weight as an adult. So, what on earth are we doing? And one of the things I talk about is making your goal big, and how all of the weight loss programs that tell us to lose like 10, 25 pounds or whatever, they're doing it wrong, man. I mean, that's like amateur hour. And as I think more about this lately, so this is right now, this is May of 2020. We're like all in quarantine. And the thing is, I'm 2 years in maintenance. 3 years ago, my Facebook memories are coming up, and I'm thinking a lot about 3 years ago when I weighed 3 years ago, I weighed 270 pounds. I was already down 10 pounds. I had been approved for bariatric surgery, a surgery I do not qualify for anymore. I never had, but it's part of the story. I was completely desperate at that time. I had injured my knee. And what I'm going to tell you about here today is my mindset at that time. Because as we look back now on, like, we have these people who are like followed me, and they're below their lowest weight. And we're having massive success in getting people to the finish line. And part of it is, a big part of it is, we're seeing each other do it. And it's like, whoa, you can do it too. You can do it too. But it really begs the question, if our fire, and it truly is, seeing all these people making all this progress, if that's our fire, how on earth did I get here? Like, how did person number one pop out with like no one in front of me? How did I do it? And as I think more about that, and I think about the goal that I had way back 3 years ago, that might have been like the tiny little seeds of this, if we can get more insight into that, how much would that help us in thinking about how we need to think about weight loss? And so, what I've done is I've really looked back on that time, and I've talked about this in other videos, that I'm really increasingly aware that a big difference for me this time, opposed to like the thousand other times I did a diet where I had a goal of like 25 pounds or whatever, or like wearing a size 14 jeans. I mean, some sort of number, and just that, would have been great. I mean, a 14 would have been great, because who knew I would be at this weight? I mean, what? And because 14 was like one of the lowest pant sizes I ever had. But anyway, so what on earth happened? And a big difference in the goal is, my goal was, I just wanted to hike. I wanted to hike. I was limping around. I was completely desperate. I mean, I could just limp across my house. I live here in the Giant Sequoia National Monument. I could see giant sequoias from my property. I could see like the outlines of the tops of the trees from my window that I could limp to. I was deeply desperate to hike with my kids. I had a 15-year-old at the time. He's 18 now, and he is an avid hiker. And I was just driving him from trailhead to trailhead because that's all I could do. It was a deep, deep desire to hike. And so those memories are coming up now, like the Facebook memories and all that. And as I've come to recognize that that probably is a key reason for like me grinding all the way to the end, that I had this big, completely like physically encompassing, filled with forest aromas goal of hiking, that's like so much more inspiring than like lose 25 pounds, that was maybe a key reason why it was different this time. Lots of other reasons lined up, and you'll see like the ridiculously big salad that was my meal approach, the one meal a day model, so many things lined up just so to get me to this point. But I do think a big reason for this is the big goal, and it's one that we can easily embrace. It's one we can replicate. And that's why I love it, and it's important, and I love to talk about it. And so it started blowing my mind kind of recently to think about myself 3 years ago in the context of now recommending to people to make your goal big. So the whole make your goal big is not new. I've been saying that for some time now. But as I'm like reliving this 3 years ago kind of thing and thinking more about it, I am completely blown away by myself 3 years ago. And I'm going to tell you guys, I know like people, I mean, we face like a lot of shame in ourself at those weights, okay? And it's difficult in some ways to look back on the photos. and to feel the feelings. Okay. But as I look back on those times, I am so highly aware I was fighting for it. Uh, so let me tell you, 3 years ago, I, I don't even know how I did this, but I did it. Okay. I did it. And I did it at 280, 270, 260 pounds. This is what I did. I wanted to hike so badly. And again, I was approved for bariatric surgery because that was like the only thing I could imagine that was left for me. And that's a whole other story and how I ended up here, all other stories. But let me tell the story of Amanda Rose at 270 pounds at that point because I'd lost 10 pounds to get approved for the surgery. And we spent the spring and the summer driving all over the place up here. We had a bike on the back because my 15-year-old, very fit and active son, he would get the bike off and he would ride around on the roads up here, these kind of rural mountain roads. And I would, I was like the, sag behind him in the car, the safety and gear person. And I could just see him on that bike. And I was like, whoa, what a vision of like fitness and awesomeness that I'm driving behind. And, as the mother, it helps to be the mother because then you're not overly jealous. But, deep in here, you're longing for it. And the best I could do was drive. But that's what I did the best I could do. I did the best I could do. And I got out there. I got out here driving all over the place. I mean, I'm shocked as I look back on what I did that season because I don't even know how I did it, how I had the energy for all of it. I mean, I'd have a hard time now, like finding the time for it. And so then finding the energy and the time at 270 pounds at that point, we talked about like all these day trips we did around here. We were just discussing it and like kind of marveling over all the things we did. But not only that, I remember it was the second time we went camping together as a family. We'd gone before, and there's a whole reason behind why we hadn't gone, but we started kind of venturing out. So we went camping not far from here as a family, and then that led to like I got up the courage, like, well, we're going to go camping more. And so then I went camping with the kids in twice in the middle of the summer. And we met some like lifelong friends in the process who we stayed connected with. And there I was at like 270 pounds. And it's so funny because they met me at a campground. And then, like, a year later, there I am, like half my size. And they're like, what? What? Okay. So I'm out. I'm like living in it the best way I can. Camping twice, once up by Yosemite. I mean, I hiked up to, what is it, Dog Lake, which is a really difficult hike. I don't know how I did it. My hiking poles as fast as I could go, which was not very fast, but I did it. I did it. And that was me working for it, getting involved and engaging in my goal. I was engaging in my goal so often that summer. We went on those hiking trips. We went on just, again, road trips all over the place up here with the bike. We then went on a big 2-week trip that ended at Yellowstone National Park. And so that was in August of 2017. I weighed 260 pounds, and maybe some of you have seen that photo now because we then 1 year later recreated it. I just think, though, about myself in those months of fighting for it. And I do think being out there and being engaged with that goal and then coming home from that Yellowstone trip, that's when I really started this. I was pondering the many pieces I was going to put together, and I was going to hit it hard right after that trip. And I thought for some months about it because I'd done like lots of low carbing stuff. I'd done all kinds of variations of things. And what I didn't do, what I didn't do is read all the junk. I read nothing. I mean, truly, I didn't know like any of the names out there in intermittent fasting or keto. None, because it was all complete garbage. I thought, and you know what? Some is, right? Okay. I just had a lot of experience with low carb. I knew a lot of reasons why I had failed in the past, and I promised myself I would not game myself, I would not fool myself about all the reasons that might have kept me from succeeding in the past. I was gonna have bariatric surgery in January. It was late August, and what I did, this was my have no regrets moment before surgery. And my philosophy in life, especially as I get older, is I say to people, like, life is about regret management. And you know how the regrets pile up over the decades as you get older and that mountain gets really big. And as I come to decision points, I do try to be mindful, like, this is one of those moments that I could really regret. And I knew I would have a lot of remorse with the bariatric surgery potentially. And so I was giving it everything. It was regret management. I intended to have the surgery. I'd promised myself I would have the surgery, but I was gonna manage the future regret of that surgery by giving it every single ounce of my being. And so there I was, out there hiking, engaging in my goal all those weeks and thinking through what I would actually be doing. And wow. So, guys, make your goal big, right? Okay? Make it a complete physical experience. Don't do this 25 pounds. Don't do you know what? It is a great vision to fit in like the size 14s, okay? Or 12s or 8s. I could not have imagined any single digit number. I mean, my golly. But at the end of the day, the size 12 or the 8 or the 4 or whatever it is not nearly ever as inspiring as this. Make your goal big, make it completely engaging. Go out and engage in it if you can at all. If you can't get out, find ways to bring it in. And we know there's a lot of like aromatherapy tools. There's foods you can use to bring it in. There's like forage foods. Get someone to forage it for you and bring it to your house. Find ways to engage and do it. Make it big. Have the photos in your house if that's where you are. Watch the videos. Get like a 3D video or something, or like some of these videos on YouTube, like, you know, all the AR, all that stuff. Do that. Do anything you can do as your lifeline to keep you engaged with your goal. It's very important. Alrighty, so go do it. Make it big. I'm Amanda Rose in the Eat Like a Bear community. I will see you there if I haven't already seen you.